My answer would be a lot longer than I would like. It was back in 2010 to 2011 that I got the idea of writing the book about an immortal guy that just walks the earth. And so I started reading on the process, what does it take to write a book? And so I got really excited. I wrote about half of the book. And then as I got excited, about halfway into the book, I was like, okay, I need to start making preparations for getting this out into the world. At the time, I was a doctoral student. And so when I started investigating the choices for publishing a book, several $1,000s, I realized that I didn't have the budget for that. I was getting paid way less than that. There was no way I could find any way to save money to publish a book. So I kind of stopped at that point with half of the book written and being in the choice where I just could not find the funding to publish it. But I had my doctoral studies and dissertation and all that I had to finish and then find a job. So I left it for another day, finished my degree, found a job as a professor, moved to the States. As I was ready to say, okay, let's try to publish this book, my kids were born, and so I had a choice again. Where do I spend my free time? Is it with my kids or with writing and finishing the book? And so the choice was pretty easy for me, and that prolonged effectively the writing and finishing of the book, which, by the way, I still had this issue with funding, that I didn't know where I would find the funding to pay for all the copy editing, marketing, and so on and so forth. In 2022, I realized the world had changed. Of course, the pandemic, but it was also that I realized that the publishing industry had changed. And for me, in many ways, for the better. Because that funding wall that I just couldn't find a way to get over it when I was younger and I didn't have the funding back then, did not exist anymore. And so it was kind of like an easier choice for me to say, well, I have half of the book written, I bet I can write the rest of it over the summer, which is the downtime for professors, and get it published. And so I sat down and I did that. And then I sent it to a few people to read the book and got back some feedback. And so the rest of the time was just figuring out the self-publishing options and kind of putting the book out there for the world and getting back broader feedback. So it was quite a surprise for me that something that I started back in 2010 that I just was not able to find a way to get it published. All you had to do is just wait for the right amount of time to pass, and then the opportunities, the world changed and there were a lot more opportunities for me to get it published. It's hard to say whether it took me 10 years to publish the book or 3 years, but in reality it was a lot longer, because there is a lot of thought that went into it. Even though I stopped writing the book, I kept thinking about it. So all of that is extra kind of time that you put into it, and you don't really realize it, but that's probably the most creative part of your time writing the book.